So a great place to start with learning to feel energy is with a classic activity that if you've done certain forms of martial art you may already have done. Certainly things like Qigong works a lot with energy, and when I did a bit of Qigong training I very much became more aware of movement of energy through my body. And one of the techniques that's taught is the building the ball of energy with your hands. And this is an excellent technique because it doesn't require you to be in a particular place or at a particular time. You can do this right now while you're watching the video. And at any other time, when you're sat on the train or the bus or not doing anything, you can just play into this. And it's the kind of thing that is just about keeping in practice. Once you know how to do it and you feel it, it's still a great thing to be doing. For me, it just feels lovely. I don't know how else to describe it. And what you're doing is you're moving energy out through your hands, imagining that you're building a ball of energy between your hands that's inflating. You're inflating this ball. And as you run energy through your hands, you get to feel the experience of what that ball of energy feels like. Now this all sounds very airy-fairy and fluffy, but there's a very clear experience to be had here, which feels like a kind of magnetic pressure. As I'm putting energy into this ball, it feels like it's kind of inflating, and there's certainly a pressure which I could, with my brute force, overcome, putting my hands together, no problem. But as I move them together, I can feel this sort of pressure, this opposition, and it's a kind of, I can only describe it as a magnetic kind of pressure. And all I can say is try it and see for yourself. You might find as well that your hands go rather speckly, and that's an experience that if you have that, as I do, then that will be quite a regular thing depending on whatever you're doing with feeling into energies. But this particular activity it's very simple. You're just building a ball of energy between your hands. You're just putting pressure into that. I find that if I rotate my hands in relation to each other, the fingers kind of push away and I sort of drop into a space there, and it pushes out and then drops into another space here. So just play with that. That's all. It's as simple as that, really. You can just get a sense of how things are feeling in your hands. For me, it's very tangible. It might not be for you to begin with, but play with it. Like all things, been watching the Olympics recently. Some people are incredibly good at specific things. And I know that if I trained that hard, I could probably be not quite that good, but I could be pretty good at climbing or swimming or running. I was pretty good at running. And it's the same with this. The more we practice things, the better we get. So just play with building the ball of energy. We'll start with this, and then we'll move on to some other things that I found very interesting, but might require you to be in a certain place or at a certain time. So have fun.